Christmas markets. Who can resist the holiday cheer, hot mulled wine, and mouth-watering regional foods in picture-perfect European cities? Christmas markets first began in the 1400s in Dresden, Germany, as a practical place to stock up on essentials before Christmas. Fast forward to the late 19th century, and they've transformed into the magical, albeit more commercialized celebration we know today, with over 6,400 markets across every European country. This week, my mom and I are checking off a major bucket list trip with a 12-day Christmas market adventure. We're visiting 6 incredible markets across 4 countries, traveling only by train and keeping each leg under 4 hours. Well, this vlog has all the holiday vibes, glühwein galore, drool-worthy food, and gorgeous holiday decor. Whoa! It's about so much more than just the markets. It's about the cities we're visiting, their rich history, unique charm, and incredible local cuisine.
Oh my God, yes.
Because while the Christmas markets are what draw you here, it's the cities that make this trip so special.
Oh, this is fun.
So grab your mittens and your appetite and get ready to explore 6 of Europe's amazing Christmas markets together. Our first activity in Brussels is to get to know the city, and my favorite way to do that is through a food and history walking tour. This is my first time to Belgium. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't do much research, so I'm really relying on this to kind of get lay of the land, understand some of the typical foods, learn about the history here. We've been walking around this morning and it's freezing, but it is so beautiful and I'm really excited. I booked this tour with GetYourGuide. They are my go-to resource for any unique experience as I'm traveling. If you haven't heard of them before, they are an online booking platform with tens of thousands of unique activities, everything from cooking classes to adventure tours to eco tours to food and history. I absolutely love checking out whatever they have whenever I'm visiting a new place because I always find the best activities. I'm going to be linking every experience we have if it's booked with GetYourGuide up here on a QR code as well as in links down below. And we're going to be going on several tours with them this trip, but it's getting started. I'm so excited. As the capital of the European Union, Brussels is the epitome of an international city. It's one of the few places in the world with 2 official languages, French and Dutch. While parts of the city retain their historic charm, much of it is surprisingly modern. In the 20th century, large sections of the city were demolished to make way for infrastructure and replaced with brutalist architecture. It's an urban renewal movement now referred to as Brusselization. Brussels is famous for its surrealist art. It's the birthplace of the Smurfs and the work of René Magritte. Unsurprisingly, Belgian chocolate and Belgian waffles is a big thing here. You're gonna see chocolate and waffle shops on every corner. Oh, you're also gonna see a lot of this guy, Mannequin Piss. Considered the icon of Brussels, this small statue of a peeing boy humorously embodies the city's individualistic and slightly irreverent spirit. We're getting our first taste on the tour. We came to this beautiful chocolate shop. The gentleman here was voted one of the best pastry chefs in the world in 2020. And they have like super high quality chocolate. It's not added with any fillers or anything like that. So we have this beautiful bag of a ton of different chocolates to try, which I'm pumped about, but they also gave us macaroons. So this one is a tiramisu macaroon. Oh my God, it's so good. My first chocolate. It's crunchy, like a Kit Kat. This is such a fun tour so far. I'm learning a ton. Like the fact that chocolate's covering things, like the praline chocolate, came from a pharmacist who wanted to make pills taste less bitter, so he covered it in chocolate. Who knew? Also, all of these shops are so cute and everything feels so festive. I'm standing in the Grand Plaza, the Grand Market, depending on which language you're speaking in. It's absolutely spectacular. They have beautiful buildings dating back from Gothic period with Baroque architecture. All of them look like they're finished in this gold leaf finish. I did find out on the tour that they had to paint that because it wore off over time. This is not real gold, but it is still just as beautiful. And at nighttime, they're doing a really cool light show on the buildings. I think they do it about every 30 minutes, starting around 6:30 or 7 p.m. for the Christmas markets. We even got to see a parade coming through the street. I don't know if that's something that they normally do for St. Nicholas Day, which is at the beginning of December and is traditionally here in Europe a more important day than like Christmas Day. It was really cool to just happenstance upon the parade, but this square is absolutely spectacular. Second stop, we're gonna get to try frites. Americans like to call them French fries, but they really come from Belgium. And the frites here are double fried. So first they cook them in like vegetable oil after they've been soaked for a long time. And then right before they heat them up for you to eat, they flash fry them in beef tallow, which gives them like a really amazing crispiness and flavor to them. I've seen everyone eating frites all hours of the day, all over the place, and I'm so excited to finally try my first frites. Comes with a sauce. You have a bunch of different choices. I ended up going with garlic. They're so crunchy and perfect.
Yes.
Now we are in a traditional bar to try some Belgian beers. Belgium is known for their beers. Delirium Tremens was like my first gateway to the world of beer over here, and it changed my life. If you haven't had it, I highly recommend it. The IPA is awesome. We had so much fun trying the beers, getting to try the frites, learning about the history of the city. It was absolutely fascinating. I highly recommend this, but this is not the only unique thing that you can do in Brussels. They have Belgian waffle making classes. You can do a chocolate making tour. There's so many fun, unique activities that you can book with GetYourGuide. So I'll have links for all of my recommendations down below. And if you're looking for any unique experiences you're traveling, no matter where you're going in the world, definitely check out GetYourGuide. Now I think we're gonna just walk around and try and take in the city, see some more of the Christmas markets, try some more delicious food, drink some mulled wine. I'm so excited to be trying all of the food at the Christmas market. We're gonna try and eat at a bunch of different vendors, and we're trying to stick with mostly cuisine from the country we're in, but it's a little bit tricky. Here in Belgium, there's lots of frites, there's lots of mussels that you can get, but they also have cuisine from all over. So our first stop is something called pelmeni, which is a Russian dumpling that's filled with beef, and then they put like sour cream kind of vibe. That's so good. So good. Mulled wine. Smells like Christmas in a cup. I got like cinnamon, cranberry, apple. So we're trying the quintessential glühwein, which is just mulled hot wine. You'll find these at the Christmas markets, no matter the country you're visiting. A lot of them will come in these like reusable cups where you put a deposit, and if you return the cup at the end, then you get your money back. But if not, you can take them as souvenirs. Here, they're just little plastic cups, which is a little bit of a bummer. A lot of people collect the cups over and over again. They're so cute. This is my first sip of it. Ooh, it's really warm.
It's so hot.
It's delicious. I think I might have just burnt my mouth, so mistake number one. We did find a spot to grab some mussels a la plancha. I think that's a very traditional thing here. Normally they're served as frites, mussels and frites. He added like paprika to it, fresh garlic, olive oils, and he's just sauteing it over a hot plate. It looks beautiful. I'm enjoying this market for sure. It's smaller than I expected, but definitely a good starting point for the rest of our Christmas markets. Oh man, this might be the best thing we've eaten. I'm always a mussel fan, but these are so flavorful. Now we just gotta go get some more frites, Mom. We came back to the Grand Place today so that we could explore the town hall. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site thanks to the preservation efforts that they've done to restore the building to depict what it would have looked like back in the 1400s, 1600s. The tickets were about $15 and they had different timed entries with an audio guide, so you could just walk through all of these magnificent rooms, and there was loads of historical artwork inside, and it was just really cool to learn even more about the history here. If you are interested in going up to the very top of the spire at the top of Town Hall, you can do that, but you have to book well in advance right now. All of them were taken for the next like 3 to 4 days. We are very happy we got to go in at least inside the city hall, because everything on Monday right now is closed. Monday is an off day for the city. All of the museums are shut down. A lot of the restaurants will be too, so you want to kind of plan around that. As much as I love market food, it's important to enjoy the local restaurant scene as well. We scored a reservation at Night Shop, a trendy restaurant in the St. Catharines neighborhood, and it was the best meal of our entire trip. We've made it to Bruges, and right now we are waiting for our free shuttle bus that takes you into the city center from the train station. It runs about every 25 minutes and it has like a pre-designed line. So you have to make sure whatever the stop would be closest to your final destination. But for us, it's going to be about a 25-minute ride. Riding train through this route is super awesome. You can absolutely rent a car to do this Christmas market trip, but it's just so much easier when you're using public transportation because things are so well connected in Europe. So we're only traveling by train this trip, using bus, metro, things like that to get around. Oh my gosh, I think we just found the cutest apartment I've ever stayed in any place. When we originally booked our accommodations for this trip, we thought Dennis was coming, so it was going to be 3 of us. So we wanted to kind of have separate rooms, and we found this spot in Bruges that looks so charming. It's amazing. The amount of character and charm in this place is out of this world. The views from the rooms are amazing. I'm gonna be taking the upstairs loft area, which is just like so light and airy. It has washer and dryer here, and we are right in the heart of the city. I'm obsessed with the living room, and I'm sad that we're only here for 2 nights because it is so amazing. Bruges, it's such a different vibe from where we just were in Brussels. Everyone says that you're supposed to get out of the city to explore some of the smaller towns like Ghent or Bruges, and I can see why. Our first stop was at the Christmas market. Bruges' main market is in the central square, with several smaller Christmas markets scattered across the city. The main market had a mix of food stalls and vendors selling everything from artisanal cheeses and meats to gloves and ornaments. Surprisingly, the food options were more international than I expected, with dishes like pasta and bratwurst often outnumbering the local specialties. But still, the festive atmosphere, mulled wine, and waffles alone made it worth visiting. Tonight I'm getting a Liège waffle. There's 2 different types that you can find in Belgium. One is a Brussels waffle, which is like really light and fluffy. They typically have toppings on top of it, and you like eat it sitting down. This one is a new version. It's made to be handheld. They make the dough with a bunch of sugar inside. They let it rise, and they put it in a waffle maker. You can get this with toppings as well, like chocolate or whipped cream, but I just got it with a little bit of powdered sugar. I've heard these are way better, way more flavorful, and this place looks like they're doing it right.
Mom.
This is the best waffle I've ever had. You don't need maple syrup because it's sweet inside because they put the sugar in it, but it has a crunch to it when you bite. It is perfection. Good morning. I am so excited to be out exploring. Today I'm going to be going on a history walking tour that includes a boat ride down the river that meanders through the historic part of the city. So this old city is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's easy to see why it is absolutely stunning. Taking a boat ride, I think it's like 30 to 45 minutes, is one of the top things to do. Unfortunately, my mom is not feeling so great today, so it's going to be me solo, which is a bummer. Luckily, with GetYourGuide, you can cancel up to 24 hours in advance with no fees, and you can use that for a future tour, so we're not losing any money. But it's such a vibe here. There's like all these people riding their bikes, there's horse and carriage rides. The buildings are just so beautiful. I love it. Belgium's broken up into 2 regions, Wallonia in the French-speaking south and Flanders in the Dutch-speaking north. Bruges is in the heart of Flanders. This walking tour began in the iconic market center, Brussels' main square where merchants once traded goods that arrived from the river. The river's no longer there. It's been diverted now, running through the different areas of the city. For a small town, I was shocked to discover that Bruges has a lot of cool sights to see. You can see an original statue by Michelangelo that was recovered by the Monuments Men after it was stolen in the Second World War in the Church of Our Lady. Or you can visit the Basilica of the Holy Blood, a church that displays a relic believed to be the cloth stained with the blood of Jesus Christ. I love just walking around the city, taking in all the sights and architecture and learning about this area's unique history from our guide, a 3rd-generation resident of Bruges, who was so passionate about the city, sharing loads of hidden gems and fascinating history. There's so many cool bars to drink at. We went to one place called the Beer Wall yesterday. They have over 2 1,000 beers that only come from Belgium. They have every type of flavor, ingredient, even glass imaginable. It is a super cool place to try a variety of Belgian beers. There's also a really cool brewery though that you can visit. They have a really cool history. It's been hundreds of years and it's right connected to the original city wall that protected the old part of Bruges. So this tour included a chocolate tasting. I thought we were just getting one and I was excited about the one we had last time, but we just came to Dumont, which is a really, really famous one. So I got a dark chocolate. It's the darkest one they have and it has a beautiful bean inside. Oh my God.
It's just so good.
I really will say the chocolate here is fantastic. I just asked her like, what makes Belgian chocolate so famous? And she said it was really because of the quality. They grind it so thin and creamy. They also use real cacao butter. They don't use any like emulsifiers or fillers. It comes through.
The tour finished on the boat, passing by many landmarks we saw on foot, but with a whole new vantage point and new context. For example, I learned that the iconic stepped gable roofs, commonly seen in Dutch regions, were designed to give property owners safe access for roof repairs in the days before modern ladders. Most of the buildings in Bruges would have been built with wood, but after devastating fires during the Renaissance age, it was reconstructed using brick and stone. I loved the entire tour, but especially the boat ride. It also didn't hurt that our guide was super goofy.
Welcome to Disneyland.
Our next stop on our Christmas market adventure is Cologne, Germany. As the birthplace of Christmas markets, Germany is a must on any Christmas market itinerary, having over 3,000 markets to visit. It's also where many of the US Christmas traditions come from, like the Advent calendar, gingerbread cookies, nutcrackers, Christmas trees, and of course, St. Nicholas. By the 18th century, German Christmas markets had grown so popular that governments implemented regulations on their operations and offerings. Though interest waned for a time, the markets experienced a resurgence during the Nazi regime. In 1936, Hitler moved Germany's largest market to Berlin, attracting around 2 million visitors that year, and shifting the focus to German goods and traditional foods over Christmas products only. This is one of the reasons you can find different products and cuisines at Christmas markets across the world.
We've made it to Cologne. Today was a very hectic and crazy travel day. Our train was canceled, so we ended up having to rebook and have 3 transfers. And it was supposed to be like a 3.5-hour train ride, but it turned into 6. We are tired and we are ready for a good Christmas market. Thankfully, we're gonna be meeting up with some locals who follow us here on our YouTube channel. This is supposed to be one of the best places for Christmas markets. There's 7 here in the city, and each of them have a different theme. This one is like star themed and it's already so beautiful. I am blown away by this market though. First off, it's huge and beautiful. We got spätzle. It's like an egg noodle pasta that they make. This one had an herb cream sauce on it with onion and cheese. It's really good. Oh, Mom, I see why you made that face. Now we're trying Reibekuchen.
You smash them and put some eggs in it, onions, of course, and a little bit of flowers. And you make them in a pan with oil, just like a pancake. You can eat it with sugar or applesauce.
Yes.
Oh my God. It's like a hash brown on steroids. There's onion perfectly sauteed in here. And then the applesauce just gives it a nice sweetness with the crunch, but the crunch is killer. I'm double dipping, I'm sorry. Yes. This is the way to do it. Andrea and Christian are showing us around and telling us like all the traditional foods to have. We're getting like a little history tour. It's amazing. We're at our second market, which is right next to the dome. This is the most iconic spot in all of Cologne, and it's so cute already. A butter biscuit. Oh my God. Amazing. Live music. It's massive.
After the market, Christian and Andrea took us to Fruit, a must-visit spot to try Kolsch beer. This light-bodied, easy-drinking brew is native to Cologne and dates back to 800 AD. Your coaster will double as a tally, keeping track of how many you've had to drink. Whenever you're finished, you can place it on top of your glass to signal you're done.
So you take it up and you say force and you kick it from the bottom. And at that very second, you have to look into the eyes of your partner. Prost.
Prost. Prost. We're at our third market for the night. This one is dwarf themed. This is another incredible market. Because the rain was supposed to be really intense tonight, I think we've gotten so lucky with no crowds. They've both said that this has just been like the least crowds I've ever seen, so I'm very grateful. We are now trying something called Flammkuchen, which is like a very thin bread made without yeast, and then they just put different toppings on it, so think of it like almost like a pita or a pizza. It looks beautiful. This one has bacon and cheese and potato. We got one more stop for food though. This is soup noodle. It looks like noodles, but it's actually made from potato, and they're rolled up into these perfect little pockets with creme fraiche. We got a special type of sausage on top, Mettwurst. Oh, and sauerkraut. You can't forget the sauerkraut. I like this a lot, but we've had so much good food today. What is this called again?
Feuerzangenbowle.
Feuerzangenbowle. It's like red wine on the bottom, and then they pour rum on top of a piece of sugar that's on this like tool, and then they burn it, and it's magic. It's our good night cap to end the evening. That has been absolutely amazing. I loved it so much. Thank you so much.
The next day we braved one of the windiest days of the year for our walking tour with GetYourGuide to dive deeper into Cologne's history.
Just a little bit windy today. I don't know that today was the best day.
Despite the weather, we loved learning about the remarkable city, which was founded by the Romans in 50 AD. Towering well above the rest of the city is Cologne Cathedral, called the Dome. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site known for its Gothic architecture, spires, and stunning stained glass. Construction on the dome began in 1248 and took over 600 years to complete. Cologne was an important base during the Third Reich. After World War II, when the Allies took over, they bombed the city, destroying roughly 90% of the buildings. The Dome Cathedral, as well as a few others, were spared. Understandably, it remains one of the most important sites for Cologne.
The Rhine River is iconic for Cologne. It's a huge part of its history, and you can take boat tours to go out. They even have some night cruises where you can do like dinners. But right next to the train station and the dome is a bridge that is covered in millions of locks. I mean, every square inch is completely packed with a lock. You're supposed to do it for like couples or for love, and you can even get your name or your initials engraved on the lock, and then you put it on this bridge. But it's become so heavy, it compromises its structural integrity, which every single year they have to go through and remove every single lock. I also wonder how many of these people make it in the relationship, or how many people are like separated after putting these locks on. It's kind of funny. The wind has died down. It was intense this morning. It was so intense they actually closed the Christmas market, but the weather is starting to improve. It's still going to be raining on and off, and of course it is freezing, but I think we're going to venture to a new Christmas market. All about St. Nick. Blue Vine comes in a really cute little mug. It's a boot. It's a cool market because it's next to this historic tower, but it's also really kid-friendly. They actually had like St. Nick here singing Christmas carols with the kids. They also have like a kids factory where you can do all these different arts and crafts for them. Not as many food selections as some of the other ones we've seen, but we'll find something delicious. Just half. Danke. This is a much better experience than our last trip in Germany, so I'm very grateful for that. We're on a high-speed train that's taking us to Frankfurt. I think it's about a 45-minute to an hour train ride.
After arriving, we checked into our favorite hotel of the trip, Bloom Boutique Hotel, a part of the Marriott Bonvoy Autograph Collection. We treated ourselves to a proper sauna day with their on-site sauna, and we hit the town ready to explore, relaxed, and refreshed.
We've made it to Frankfurt, and it is a beautiful day. The sun is proper out. Not just hiding behind some clouds. I mean like a true sunny blue sky day, and I couldn't be happier about it. Being in Europe in the winter, it's very cold, very rainy, very gloomy, so this is just such a treat. My first impressions of Frankfurt is that it's such a modern city. This is known as being the financial district for Germany. So it feels like we're in Washington, D.C., New York City vibes. All of the skyscrapers are really modern, really sleek and beautiful. The old area was bombed, obviously, during World War II, so much of this has been rebuilt. There are some areas that look as they would have prior to the bombings, but just feels very fresh and new, and it's a really fun vibe to it, and I have a feeling the food scene is going to be unreal here. Our first stop in Frankfurt is at Klein Market Hall, which is an indoor farmers market. They have loads of different stalls selling fresh vegetables, meat, seafood, spices. They have all different international cuisine stalls, bread. I mean, it's absolutely heaven. Very busy today. It's Saturday. If you go to the second story, they have loads of different restaurants. We ended up passing a stall that's selling seafood, and we met a local who said this is absolutely the best seafood in all of Frankfurt. Sadly, the fish place was completely reserved. You make reservations for that if you want to come. We came next door to a apple, wine, and German restaurant. I think it's quite famous in the area. This one's just in the market. We got 4 different appetizers to try some of their specialties. One comes with sausage and an apple cheese. We also got a beetroot salad with trout. We got a green soup made from herbs and a beef patty on top of an onion jam and mashed potato, heavenness. When we ordered the 4 appetizers, we got an apple cider for free, which is so cool. So it's not like apple cider I'm used to in the US. It's much more sour and effervescent, and I feel like I get a lot more dryness on the finish. It's really tasty. It's like sweet sour mixture. I like it a lot. This is such a cool market. Definitely add this to your list in Frankfurt no matter what time you're visiting. So we had to go back to that bratwurst place because the line just continued and the ladies just looked legendary. But we ended up meeting a really sweet couple in front of us that explained the whole thing. So I guess they have been working here in this market for ever. They're both over 80 years old and just serving these amazing sausages. And the sausage here is called Fleischwurst, which is a specific type of sausage from Frankfurt. It's not like the traditional Bavarian sausages we think of in the United States when we think of a German sausage. They look more like a hot dog. She ended up giving us this platter to try. I'm not very hungry, but I know it's going to be good. It tastes like a hot dog.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a hot dog.
Very good. We're trying Dampfnudel now. This is like a flour puff pastry filled with blueberry, and they put cinnamon sugar on top. And it's in this milky, creamy sauce. Oh my God, that's not elegant at all, but...
Por eso luego lo puedes comentar.
Wow, what a sweet treat.
You're both so green in summertime. Stay bravely green in wintertime. Oh, Tannenbaum, oh, Christmas tree.
So we just made it to the Frankfurt markets. It kind of is interesting because it winds throughout the entire city. It's just several different sections of larger Christmas market, and there's tons of stalls all down a straight line of the main street. So there's not as much theme compared to what we saw in Cologne, but the markets are huge. There's so much to see and do here. I feel like we could spend a full day just walking the market. What do we have, Mom?
Eierpunsch.
Eierpunsch. Oh, look at you, you're German already.
She said it was rum, amaretto,
White wine?
white wine.
And some secret spices. Oh, it's beautiful. We made it to the main plaza and it is stunning. They have these gorgeous old buildings that are Tudor style where they have the wood panels on them that are so charming. They have a double-decker carousel. There's people playing music right now. It is a vibe, but it is absolutely packed. Do not expect to visit any Christmas market, particularly on the weekends, and not just be completely overwhelmed by people.
Our next stop was a 3.5-hour train ride from Frankfurt to Colmar, a charming city just 30 minutes from the German border in the heart of the Alsace. This region is renowned for its winemaking with its own distinct identity, blending French and German influences. It took us about 5 seconds to fall in love with this storybook city. Most areas of Alsace feel like a fairy tale, with colorful Tudor-style homes and cobblestone streets. In fact, it's believed this enchanting region inspired the setting of Beauty and the Beast.
Bonjour! 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 Bonjour!
My gosh, this place is stunning. Our apartment is in the historic center. We are on the very top balcony. They've asked not to film it, but it is stunning. I will have links for where we stayed down below. The city itself is just like stepping back in time. Strasbourg is another really popular spot for Christmas markets, but we decided to come to Colmar, which is about 45 minutes south, because it's a little bit smaller of a town and just as stunning and historic. Right now we're getting acquainted with the city on a walking history tour, and I'm in love.
Our guide, a local from Alsace, showed us some of the local delicacies and city's important buildings. And while it's small, it had a lot to see. It's the birthplace of Frederick Bartholdi, the sculptor who helped design the Statue of Liberty, which is now a museum. The most picturesque part of town, though, is La Petite Venice, one of the city's oldest neighborhoods, set along the river and near the historic market. The brightly painted houses aren't just decorative, they once served a practical purpose too. Before literacy was widespread, the color of your home identified your trade. Green homes were for winemakers, yellow for bakers, and red for butchers.
We got a crepe. This is like obligatory when you're in France, which is surprising because there actually isn't many stalls here at this market with crepes, but I got a savory crepe with ham and cheese. Oh, I love it. Very good. This market has so much variety in the food. It's not the same old things we've been seeing at all of the Christmas markets, which is so refreshing. Right now I'm trying a chestnut soup with a bacon cream. They have a whole tent dedicated just to food here, and I will be trying all of the items. We already grabbed a pretzel. They call them pretzels here. They have a sweet version and like a savory one. You can even get them topped with all these things. It was awesome. It's really good. Glühwein or Weinschad is popular here. It's more popular to grab a bottle of wine. I've seen several wine stalls selling wine from this region. So I came back for Spätzle. It's kind of like the German noodle we tried at the Cologne market, but this is made in their own shape and they're like quite proud of it. It's on every menu we saw in every restaurant. So I got mine with a mushroom cream. Creamy, rich mushroom broth with a really yummy pasta. Our last meal at the market is going to be escargot, which obviously is very French. Here they put a special garlic herb butter on top of each individual snail, and they give you like a little toothpick to pull it out. Snail tongue, excuse me. I really hope we eat the whole thing. I like the butter and herb sauce a lot. It kind of masks any flavor of the snail you get. It's not fishy at all. That one was good.
And just like that, we were back on the train headed to our last stop of the trip, Zurich. Zurich isn't particularly well known for their Christmas markets, but it's where we're returning home from, so we decided to extend our stay and see what the city was all about.
First Christmas market in Zurich is at the Illuminarium. So beautiful and tucked away. They have a show for kids where you can purchase tickets. They also have a restaurant that you can reserve at, but there's so many like food stalls, drink stalls, and it is such a vibe with the lights. We're starting with a hot chocolate with Baileys. This is legit real chocolate they just put on a stick and it's melting inside of the warm Baileys. Oh my God, this is gonna be so good. This was a good choice. There's a lot more international food here. I'm really surprised by that. All of the other markets were like really quaint, featured local things. It was almost all the same foods. This one's very diverse and it's very expensive. Zurich is like one of the most expensive cities in the entire world. Everything costs a lot more, and it's not euro here. You have to have francs, but everything that we've seen so far is card, so that's definitely the preferred way to pay for things. I'm finally trying raclette, which is a special type of cheese. Normally it's put on bread, you see it like a sandwich, but they put it on potatoes here. I'm so excited. There was such a huge line for it. It is so good. So Zurich has several Christmas markets that you can visit. One is inside of the train station, which is a little bit odd to me. There's like a huge Christmas tree and then just a ton of stalls. It's a lot of people selling goods. There is some food. Again, a lot of international cuisine. It's definitely a different vibe from all of the other Christmas markets we visited so far. But there are more traditional ones that we'll be visiting later. So we're trying deep fried apple. They gave us a little sample, which is so sweet. Apple rings. I guess it's a specialty here in Switzerland. It has cinnamon and it has sugar on top. Holy shit.
I know, I'm gonna cook it with it.
Whoa. He knew one sample we weren't gonna be able to resist. That's the trick. Oh my God, it's like the best apple pie you've ever had. Holy moly. New goal unlocked. We just passed a fondue tram. People were just eating in this quaint little tram. I loved it. That was amazing. There's definitely way more to do and see in Zurich, as well as the surrounding areas. There's so many amazing day trips you can take from the city, but we're only here for one day really before we take our flight back to the United States. One thing that they do have going for them is fondue chalets. They like build these amazing structures. You can go inside and dine and have fondue. The one that was at the Illuminarium is reservation only, and right now they were booked out for almost a week in advance. This one looks like it's kind of first come, first serve, but awesome. It's definitely a feature I like about these markets. We love getting to learn about the history of the places that we're visiting, and the best way to do that by far is a walking tour. But everything was booked for Zurich when we were coming here. So today we are going to explore the history of Switzerland and Zurich at the Swiss National Museum. I did book the entry tickets on GetYourGuide. I'll have a QR code that you can scan right up here if you're interested in doing the same. This has really good reviews. I'm hoping we'll kind of get an idea of what happened here. I've never been to Switzerland before, and it definitely feels different than the other places we've visited so far.
Zurich is the largest city in Switzerland and a hub of culture, innovation, and history. Nestled along the shores of Lake Zurich with the Alps as its backdrop, the city is known for its pristine streets, high quality of life, and status as a global financial center. The Swiss National Museum was the first of its kind. Built in the late 1800s, city planners had the forethought to create a space to showcase its unique history. The reconstructed rooms highlight the architecture of the Swiss buildings over the centuries, including these ornate tiled stoves that would have been used to heat the space in upper-class homes. The museum truly has something for everyone, with exhibits ranging from paintings and prehistoric artifacts to geology, costumes, and even Roman relics.
10 out of 10, awesome museum. Even if you're not a museum person, this one was so interesting. It was interactive. There's so much to see. It is huge. We spent 3 hours here and I feel like we still missed rooms. There's so much more you could have learned. I would have liked to have done like a guided tour just because it would have highlighted the most important things or some of the most important historical events for Switzerland's history, but absolutely fascinating. Now we are going to get some lunch. This has been on my bucket list for like the entire trip. I'm so excited. We're getting fondue. Obviously, Switzerland's the birthplace of fondue. And for those who don't know, fondue is a blend of 4 delicious cheeses that they add liquor to. So this one has white wine, a sherry, I believe, and garlic. You just dip the bread in there, whatever you have to eat, and it's just like cheese heaven. Also, if you're lactose intolerant, it's good to know that they use hard cheeses here, which don't have lactose in them, so it won't make your tummy upset. We came to a place called Swiss Chupi. The reason we came here is because they offer single-serving fondue. Most places will require a 2-person minimum, but this spot allows you to just order it for yourself. So if you're coming as a solo traveler, it's a good tip. It's an expensive experience. The fondue starts around 34 Swiss franc, and it goes up from there, and then you have to order extra items. So if you want chicken or vegetables to go with the fondue, that's extra. The only thing that comes with it is bread. I don't want to burn my mouth on the first one. So good. So we've come to the Opera House where they do a nightly performance right now from the Zurich Symphony. To be able to see professionals like this playing is a complete treat, and this building is beautiful, but it is absolutely packed. They just opened the doors and a flood of people ran in. I'm really looking forward to it, so definitely make sure you're there on time so you get in line, because right now we're sitting on the floor.
Hoffentlich erkennt ihr die Melodie von Jingle Bells.
That was amazing. That was worth coming to Zurich on its own. It was absolutely spectacular. That has to be on your Christmas bucket list. But right across from the Opera House is their largest and oldest Christmas market in Zurich. So we're just going to peruse, see what we can find. Lots of international food from what I can see so far. And they do have official mugs for their Glühwein, which is nice because the rest of the spots were just plastic. It's going to be my last Glühwein of this Christmas market trip, which I'm a little bit sad about. This one has a lot of like citrus, lemon in it. Tasty as always. Oh man. Trying Schnoopfnoodle. Schnoopfnoodle. First Christmas market in Zurich is at the Illuminary. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the names of this. Taste.